Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Magic Mics, proudly sponsored by CoolStuffInc.com, CardHoarder.com, Ultra Sleeves, as well as Twitch subscribers and Patreon supporters just like you. I'm Evan Irwin, and we get started each week by saying hello to my two co-hosts, MTG Nerd Girl.
Hey guys, welcome back.
Ruben Bressler.
Good evening. How's it going?
Well, it's another day in paradise, as I like to say.
That's right.
Now, if you missed our pre-show, subscribers to this channel get access to our NSFW version early. And with that, we kick it off with our first pick and our giveaway. Get your chance at $50 worth of anything at CoolStuffInc.com by typing !raffle in the chat. But sub first to get 2 chances to win and support your favorite streamer with your suggestions at the end of the show to see who we raid tonight. And that is, of course, thanks to our sponsor, CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock every day. And we got to talk about first pick, with the first pick being that there was some announcements today on the weekly MTG stream, which was nice. First of all, they appear to have announced their announcements, which is always fun.
Great.
Their upcoming monthly announcement days have been listed, and I'll see if I can get these on the screen here for you guys. But in the meantime, I think the biggest news for today, not even close, was that Streets of New Capenna are going to arrive, that set is going to arrive in paper first. And this has not happened in years. I'm trying to think of when's the last time that paper was first. We have to go back to Throne, maybe? No?
It's been long enough that I don't know the answer.
I can't recall.
It used to be the norm. It's certainly been
the
big Arena.
Yeah. And, for back in the day, like way back in the No Magic Online, you had to wait weeks to get the same product on Magic Online that you had paper. There used to be a gigantic gap. And then suddenly the tables were flipped and you got it in digital early. And I can tell you from a store perspective, this is amazing. Every store owner in the world is like, this is awesome, because it's nice to have a pre-release that is a freaking pre-release. That doesn't mean somebody's already spent, hundreds of dollars and tons of hours drafting and tons of hours playing sealed already. And by the time they get to your card shop, like, they're huffing and puffing because they know what all the cards do and you don't. Like, to create that paper experience is very special and important.
Yeah, I mean, so it's actually just been a situation that's been getting worse. It is nice for digital, to come out for you to practice, especially when there's like a GP for release weekend. That happens sometimes, but we're not doing those now. But originally, Arena was coming out the Thursday before pre-release, but now it's a week before pre-release, and it's just kind of been going further and further. And I think that has a little bit more to do with financial, because I think that if people buy 90 packs on Arena, they probably profit more than if they buy 90 paper packs, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I mean, you're paying Wizards directly versus you're buying it from a store who had to get it from a distributor and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's way better for the stores. I don't recall the reasons why the switch to the everything getting released at the same time were made. Mm-hmm. I believe that they were made for economic reasons, right? They were also like, we want standard to happen when the cards are released. And also players were like, I have these cards in my hand, why can't I play them for 2 weeks? Right? So going back to the old model is a little bit weird. But from an economic standpoint in the world that we currently live in, makes total sense.
Yeah, so I have the dates here, essentially, for Streets of New Capenna up on the screen. They note that the previews are going to start on April 7th, the pre-release is on April 22nd, because this is the funny thing, they're actually kind of aligning the digital release with the paper release, because when it releases in stores is, the day before you get it on a digital platform, which is cool. Not sure what the Commander launch party is on April 29th through May 1st. I can imagine that they're going to figure that out. Blake did mention that. Thank you, the Maverick Girl said, Blake did mention that they're gearing up for a big OP announcement in the coming months on an upcoming announcement day, but wouldn't reveal what day. They're already working on the articles and such already, which is great and fantastic. Yep. And they also announced that the global release for Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate is on June 10th. So That's coming.
Love
and
that.
That's awesome.
More D&D cards. I'm excited for new Capenna. I think that it is an interesting. I mean, I love noir. I'm a huge nerd for that kind of smoky back alley secrets and private eyes and stuff like that. And I'm excited for a new plane. It feels like we've been living in nostalgia land for a very long time.
For a minute.
And getting to see a new plane is going to be very exciting. I don't know if I care enough about the release schedule because I don't go to stores right now.
Well, I think it really does feel like we're starting to turn a corner.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, knock on wood, that I'm starting to feel like, I can go do things. I feel like I'm safe doing things, still wearing masks and stuff, but
yeah, of course.
We're not shut down mode anymore, and that's a good thing. But, either way, I'm all about, let's bring on some streets. I love the mob stuff. I want, all that, the
demon mobs.
Gangster.
I love it.
They're demon gangster families, right? Like, so, I mean, come on.
Ooh, that does make Higetsugu better, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Like, this is going to be the shard or the wedge set. It's going to be a 3-color set. They've already said that. And so, I'm ready. I need a unicorn head in somebody's bed. All right, I need that. I need some
like that.
Oh my gosh!
Come on,
Yep.
They didn't even give me the Akira slide. Like, come on, why didn't you give me the Akira slide? Give me the unicorn head in the bed. It'd be great.
Very good.
I want that to happen. That'd be sweet. All right. That said, we move out of our first pick into Gather the Townsfolk, thanks to our sponsor, CardHoarder.com, offering the best inventory prices and delivery of cards for Magic Online. And our first story today here, of course, is the rebalancing for Alchemy. I am ready for more of these announcements. I love them, and they make me happy. This is the rebalancing that we get for all of these zombie cards, mainly. And there's lots and lots changed. I won't go over every single one or anything, but they are on the screen. A few notes. Falcon Abomination is now the greatest Windrake of all time. Like,
holy crap, they put Flash on that card?
Yeah, it's not even close. It's the greatest Windrake that's ever existed. Champion of the Perished gets +2/+2 instantly out of nowhere, which is also great. I tried to build with some of these earlier before the show to see if I could hobble together the zombie deck. It's not quite as easy as the dungeon deck was, but yeah, these cards are dope.
Wow.
I mean, that thing was already kind of a terror in limited. I'm kind of surprised. Now, I know it wasn't seeing constructed play, and if you want your zombie deck to be good, then you're going to need buffs like this.
Right.
But I'm still mad at that card, so I'm not having it.
I mean, look at this. Look at the Cosmos Charger. This thing is amazing. It foretells now for 1 blue mana, so a blue flash flyer that for 1 blue. I mean, that's looking a lot like a Delver to me. Gitrog loses the bad part of it. Tybalt is still trash. I don't care if that thing dealt 4 damage or not. But yeah, like Vega the Watcher could now, having Ward, could bring its own archetype into play because it was so fragile as just a 3 mana 2/2 flyer. Well, now they gave you protection.
I'm gonna have to read through all these, but
But
they're like, hey, play zombies now.
well, they saved the best for last as Fires of Invention comes back for 4 and a red.
Right.
And that is dangerous.
Yeah, that was a fun deck we all missed, isn't it?
Yeah, great.
We now kind of have another kind of half generation of Magic players who have no idea what the Fires of Invention deck was or what it did, and it was filthy, let me tell you.
Well, the funny thing about this rebalance is all of the cards that were in the Fires of Invention deck cost 5 anyway, right?
Generally.
Penrith, both of the Cavaliers. Like, I mean, I feel like this is a good change because we get, instead of going 4-drop Wrath, 5-drop, 5-drop, now we'll just get Wrath, 5-drop, 5-drop, I guess. Like, where it's enough of a, obviously increasing its price from 4 to 5 is a huge deal.
Right.
But this is gonna be a very good card in Alchemy. This is going to be better than any zombie deck you could put together.
And I'm not, well, see, this would only be for historic, because Flyers have mentioned the historic. So this alchemy is the standard stuff with the changes.
I see. Okay.
So you're likely able to build a cool zombie deck in alchemy, which is neat. But what I've found that the exploit stuff is just not good enough, even with the buffs. And again, I probably just haven't found the right mixture. But I can tell you, Falcon Abomination is amazing. They bumped it to rare status, for God's sake.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't notice that there was a rarity change. That's crazy.
No, they didn't change the rarity. They just changed like what it did.
Right.
I see.
As a
2/2
rare
flash flying
for 3 mana, that makes it.
That makes
it
a token.
also makes a token. Like you can keep up counterspell mana in your blue decks now.
It's real good. It's very strong. Unfortunately, a bit of a sad bit for this next guy, the Townsfolk note that there's sort of a last dance happening with a variety of authors, Paulo Vitor, Gerry Thompson, Ross Merriam, a lot of these guys who have basically created an entire lifestyle around themselves, being able to create content for Magic. And as we all know, that has been publicly ending shortly. And all competitive content has been kind of on the wane for a while.
Yeah. In particular, this is Star City Games news. Gerry Thompson has been there longer than anyone. He was there when I showed up in 2010. So it's a long 2011.
I guess I predated him by like a couple years, but it wasn't much. I mean, I started writing.
He's been there forever, man.
So
the Ross Merriam, Todd Anderson, these pillars of the creative content creation community, changing jobs, out of a job, moving on from Magic. It's really hard to tell, but it's a dozen or more at a time. And it is very sad. I mean, it's easy for us here, Ruben Bressler and Evan Irwin in particular, to say, ha ha, Star City Games, ha ha, right? But it's sad. It's a real paradigm shift. It's a real thing in the Magic community to see Star City Games, which for a decade has been the pillar of Magic content creation, issue it entirely.
I've never worked with Star City, but I do know a lot of the people who have been writing for them. It's definitely interesting because, Star City was one of the bigger holdouts that still had a lot of competitive stuff on the site. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where the creators go. I know I talked to a couple of them, and some of them are looking to do like joint collaborative Patreons, things like that, or just starting up their own. Some of them mentioned being in talks with other people to pick up the articles. So that's a possibility as well. But there is a really good chance that we might just lose some of these personalities because let's say they can't get another writing job, in the full-time capacity, and then they have to then go do something else. So they're no longer, in the Magic community in the way that they have been known to be. And that's a big loss, I think. Pretty disappointing.
I mean, we're talking for content on SCG, we're talking like 20 years worth. This is back when it was, oh my God, what was that first site called? Mind something. So there was this was before TCG Player was TCG Player. It was like Mind Break or Mind Buzz or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And so there was that site. There was Londis.com that happened for a while.
The Mana Leak.
Yep. There was that thing. And so the idea that you could take this content and then essentially create a premium system, that was another like whole new weird revolutionary thing that happened in like 2007-ish type thing. But it blew up and it created literally the livelihoods of a lot of authors and creators for many years. And the fact that is ending is consequential. And the fact that I don't get to read any more Gerry Thompson tournament reports. Hell, the fact there hasn't really been a tournament report in years, which is unreal. Like, go look up Jeff Cunningham, because he wrote some amazing stuff, and it'll affect you on the deep human level on how cool it is to go to a Magic event. But that stuff, I think the way I saw it put at one point was, it's no longer about how good you are at Magic. It's about how much fun you can have with Magic. And
sure. And Magic is a game.
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay with that paradigm shift.
Right.
With that said, it's still a paradigm shift, and it's still a change, and it's still kind of sad to see things change in a wistful kind of way.
Right.
So the fact that we aren't going to get a Chapin article on Star City Games or a Flores article on Star City Games is a big deal, and it's like graduating from high school, right? Or having it's another life event,
right?
In terms of people who pay attention to competitive Magic.
Yeah, I mean, and cool stuff, being in charge of the content itself and working with authors and working with creators, having done that shift for a while. It's still not 100% super crazy casual. I still have Flores writing every single week. We still have Jim Davis, who sort of crosses that line, Alion Trazi, but at the same time, you want to embrace other creators. And we just got Pleasant Kenobi, for example, under the wing of CSI, and that, he's more of an important personality, and that's you can get some enjoyment out of the game just kind of talking about it and thinking about it. And talking about the points of the community. So somewhat tangentially related, Ryan Overturf did note that he has recorded the final episode of the 540. This was a Cube podcast, and Cube is kind of casual competitive in many ways, in that it can sell some cards, don't get me wrong, but oftentimes like one card every set release, versus Commander players who will just buy all sorts of stuff across all sorts of sets. So congratulations to Ryan for making it in as many episodes as he had. That's been a pretty long-running podcast, as I recall. And
as the Cube aficionado, you certainly know how hard it is to keep up Cube content.
Yes, and it's weird and it's tough, and but it's great in many ways to see that Cube and cubing is a normal thing. This is a thing that the culture has completely adopted. Wizards has completely adopted. Wizards didn't try to rename it. It wasn't an EDH Commander situation. It's been the Cube. The Cube as it is understood. No, it's not a box. It's a design. And like, the more Magic cards that have come out, the better you can make your own Cube, your own experience. What do you want to be good? What do you want to be bad? And that to me has always been the coolest puzzle to just put together. And I had a blast for years working on mine. And honestly, it would have made me a lot more money if I'd just sat on it for a few more years. But, whatever. Things change. As we move on here to Desperate Ravings, check out our altar sleeves. Support the show by using the code MAGICMIKES at checkout for 5% off anything in the store, including a set of exclusive sleeves featuring the Magic Mikes crew at altersleeves.com/MagicMikes. Move on here to our first story, and only one this week. Wizards made a boo-boo. They did a bad thing. Kappa Cannoneer is nuts in older formats.
It is.
And not only is it a sweet meme for Pokemon, the card's sick.
The card is insane. I saw it as a 4 in an affinity list.
So for those, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, for those who don't know what it does, Kappa Cannoneer is a blue and 5 generic mana. It is a rare from the Neon Dynasty Commander decks. It is a rare artifact creature turtle warrior. It's a 4/4 with improvise, which means your artifacts can help cast this spell. Each artifact you tap after you're done activating mana abilities pays for 1 generic mana. It has Ward of 4. So when you're tapping 5 artifacts, you pay 1 blue mana for a 4/4 with Ward of 4, and, because it needs more abilities, whenever an artifact creature enters the battlefield under your control, whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Kappa Cannoneer, and it can't be blocked this turn.
Yeah.
Woo! That's a lot of sick abilities that only show up in treasure chests right now on Magic Online.
Yeah, so what's the consternation about? You can only get it through treasure chests?
That's correct. And it has a low drop rate. You're only going to see it every once in a while.
I see. And so the ticks price for this are through the roof, presumably.
The last one I saw was 80.
Yeah.
I can imagine we're in the 90-100 ticks situation.
Yeah.
You can't
I mean,
borrow them because none of the vendors have them.
right.
So you have to go to the open market, and they cost $1 million.
It is
Yeah.
a 4/4 invisible stalker.
Basically. I mean, every turn it's going to be like a 5/5/6/6 smash for unblockable.
Now, is this the only card from the Neon Dynasty Commander expansion that you can't get, or what?
There's others that you can get out of the treasure chest, but they don't redefine a deck. They don't change modern, or legacy or whatever.
Well, the reason why I ask is because wasn't all the hype about Swift configuration being like, this is the new Swords to Plowshares for modern, and if that's just as rare, that must not have.
I don't think it is
tipped
as
scales
rare, and I
nearly
don't
as
think
much.
it's tipped the scales either. I think both may be true. Is that I don't think it's a big problem, and it didn't tip anything. But
Got
this
it.
certainly did, and this ability is just bananas. And
Yeah, very good card.
look at the damn thing. It's Blastoise.
It is also Blastoise.
I don't even know Pokemon, and I know that's Blastoise.
Yeah. I think that it is. I mean, I can envision this coming down on turn 1 very easily, especially in modern.
Yeah.
And then every artifact you play thereafter makes it an unblockable Tarmogoyf forever.
And you're not going to have 4 more mana plus your removal spell until when? Until what turn? How do you block this thing again? I mean, it's bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the issue is that it's too rare.
It's too rare.
It's too rare.
It's too good for something to be so rare that it's not a feasible thing for people to get and be able to play.
Exactly.
So
yeah,
it's putting a big price ticket on the format, which is something that we've seen with lots of formats. There's I'm sure lots of people who would love to play Vintage and a bunch of other things, but just that's not going to ever happen for most of us. And it sucks to see that happening to another format.
It
feels very similar to the Nexus of Fate days or Kenrith Returned King days,
right?
Where the only way that you could get something for a constructed format was not in packs of Magic cards, which feels wrong in a lot of ways. Like, I look at that set symbol and I'm like, I've never seen that set symbol before. Like, a lot of these cards, I played against a card the other day I'd never even heard of. It was from the game night day when they ran a game night at your local game store. It had a 5-pointed star as its symbol. It's like, what is this card? This is a fake Magic card. And this strikes me as if you played this at a paper Magic tournament, people would be like, that's a fake Magic card. Judge, get over here. This person is making up Magic cards and printing them at home. This is not real. That's a Blastoise again.
Yeah, so it can feel like pay to win, basically, for the formats in which this card is terrific, because you just can't afford them, and that sucks. So, that said, we have a few moments to go. If we wanted to have any questions from the chitter chat.
Oh yeah, light news week, huh?
It's a light news week. We're happy to take any questions or any topics you would like to talk about. Not too much else going on. I am excited for Streets of New Capenna, and I am looking forward to all that. We didn't mention the Secret Lair Pisces, which is neat.
Sure, great.
I can pull that up for you guys.
Yeah, Secret Lair Pisces once again with this Secret Lair Pisces or Secret Lair astrological signs.
This is the second one that they've done?
No, this is the 4th one.
Really?
Oh.
They started with Sagittarius. So this would be third.
Capricorn, something or other.
I am excited for Baldur's Gate, personally.
For sure.
And are all of these still available for the 1 year? Is that the way they're that's
Through
the
the
way
rest
they were
of the
doing
year,
one of
yes.
them? Yeah.
Right. Through the rest of the year, you can order them as they debut them. This is the weirdest experiment I've ever seen them do. And again, this is at some point you just have a storefront and you're just being weird about it.
These at least look nicer. These are dope. These look really good.
I mean, this is a neat design and all. Don't get me wrong. The way they sell them and is not. It just seems odd. You know what I mean? You can't buy 20 of them or whatever. You have to buy them in 4s or whatever, set of 5. So I don't know. It's this whole weird thing that I don't really understand. definitely excited about Baldur's Gate, though. It turns out Commander Legends was just absolutely amazing and was one of the best sets that CSI has had in years. And so let's keep crushing it on that front.
Yeah, I just want more dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be dope.
I like the Hadoken Bolt, which
the Hadoken Bolt
has.
is the subject of the joke.
All right, then we won't. But that's beautiful.
Well, we don't have. I mean, we aren't really discussing it. I'm just saying that.
Well,
that's
Nerd Girl, you can show off that the secret lair. You got sent the Street Fighter secret lair.
You want to see?
Like the
They're in a
actual
sleeve, so it's a little glossy. Sorry.
I love it.
a little glossy.
But the full art here, this is amazing. I feel like I definitely need to get a full play set to complete.
Did you get the foil or the non-foil?
The non-foil.
Non-foil.
Yeah, so they sent us the whole thing. So there's actually a lot of cards.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's kind of glary, but
It's like 10 cards or something. The
Right.
best card from I
is
want
off.
to build a deck
Right
around it circumstance is the Reach guy, the green-white Reach guy.
Doslam?
Yeah, I think so.
That guy's
Yeah.
really cool.
Who seems like a commander that you can build around and would be fun to build around. So that's the one I like.
Yeah. Is the Hadoken non-foil if you got the non-foil layer? I would expect it to be.
yeah, it is not foil. None of the cards are foil.
Yeah. So you need to get the
I
foil
was also
version, but
disappointed that there was no M. Bison. I felt that was
M.
a
Bison should have been
shoe-in,
there. Yeah.
especially because
Yeah.
M. Bison is hidden in the Street Fighter games. Like, you have to unlock M. Bison.
Like,
So,
if it had if M. Bison was the card and the flavor text was, for me, it was a Tuesday, that would have been like just the perfect, you couldn't have put a better bow on it type thing. Now, I'm mad at Lightning Bolt because Lightning Bolt's going to be amazing forever. But damn, I would have really enjoyed an M. Bison joint there. But I'll take
Yeah, I think
anything
they
Street
did
Fighter.
a really good job with these. It was neat too to see a couple of the Street Fighter creators also showing off the Secret Lair stuff, which is not a thing that I saw that they did with like League of Legends when they did the Arcane crossover. I saw a lot of Magic creators getting the Arcane stuff, but I didn't really see Arcane doing it in reverse because I mean, I guess it was themed after the show, not any one of Riot's games specifically, so that's not a thing. But we actually did have 4 Street Fighter creators actually show off the Magic cards and do stuff, which was really neat.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if they didn't go back to the Street Fighter well, based on how much, like, they did The Walking Dead, they did Stranger Things, they did Arcane, but it's like, I feel like that the scale of how big those things are compared to Magic the Gathering means that those partnerships are one-offs. I would actually be surprised if Street Fighter and Magic didn't partner again. They are similar in terms of size of fandom, and they appear to really like having worked with each other from the creators that I saw on both sides.
Sure.
Nice.
And someone's mentioned the Lord of the Rings. That's going to be a whole set. That's not just a secret layer. That's a whole damn full-blown set release, which is going to be awesome.
Which I'm sure there will be some secret layers associated with that, maybe with some cool iconic elves and stuff would be really neat.
Final Fight would be amazing. I want Nintendo. I need Mario and Luigi and the Princess and the Koopas and King
Raccoon
Koopa.
suit.
I mean, give it to me. Like, let's go. There's so many. Like, they could do like a suite of Nintendo secret layers. You know what I
Well,
mean?
the treasure token
the
would be a coin.
the lands, like what's going to be the castle, and like, I mean, just there's a whole host of stuff. So, all right, that is enough for this evening.
I will give you one name that I want, that I'm looking, that might be in the Baldur's Gate expansion for a legendary character, because I think I picked a lot of the right names for Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. I'm going to give you the name Edwin Odysseirian. I would not be shocked if Edwin showed up in Baldur's Gate.
Okay.
Nice.
He is a red wizard of Thay. And he was in some of the Baldur's Gate games, and I think that seems like the kind of character that they would want to put on a Magic card.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and turn the corner here to the finisher. Where is my document? I need to find it.
You should have your document.
I should have had it up, but Windows got mixed around. That was on me. I got it here. All right, here we go. It was shown this week that the special bonus card inside the Street Fighter Secret Lair would be an alt-name lightning bolt named Hadouken. Setting aside for the moment that a Hadouken is a literal fireball, this does open the door for new alt-name reprints. So tell me, what is your ideal reskin, Ruben?
Well, my biggest fandom, other than Magic and D&D, which already has a bunch of Magic cards, is LARP. So I'm looking forward to a reskinned Sword of X and Y cycle that's made entirely of foam.
Nice. Nerd Girl?
Nice. So I love Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I have the perfect 4 elements alt print. Water, earth, fire, and air. I believe Omnath can save the format.
Nice, nice. Well, y'all know I'm all about my Counter-Strike BS. I love that stupid game and its pro scene. Unfortunately, not a ton of the CSGO memes are PG, but maybe, just maybe, we'll get a new copy of Grapeshot, renamed Teabagging. Oh, goodness. And that ends another live episode of Magic Mics. Thanks for joining us here to discuss all things Magic. Thank you, Nerd Girl.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you, Ruben.
Hey, thanks.
And want to thank we're going to move on here to our final slide. If I can get it up here. Boop-a-da-boop. I want to thank our sponsor, CoolStuffInc.com, our co-sponsors, CardHoarder.com and AlterSleeves. Use the code MagicMics on AlterSleeves.com. My co-hosts, MTG Nerd Girl and Ruben Bressler. You guys for watching and listening. I hope you support us at Patreon.com/MagicMics. Please follow, like, tweet, favorite, share, subscribe to everything social that tells people we exist. Catch us online on our Discord, Twitch.tv at Magic Mics, at Twitter at Magic Mics Cast, our Magic Mics subreddit, and like the Magic Mics page on Facebook. Or join us here next week, same time, same place, for another episode of Magic Mics. Good night, everybody.